Hello, welcome to the Aladin Show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me. Today, I've got another interesting topic. I've got a special guest who's actually flew in from Ireland, and he's going to actually share the secret of elite health. Yes, secret of elite health. There's more than you think. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to be more healthy and share some things that you may not know about your own health and how to improve it, and you could actually take control of your own health. And we're going to share some information. So I want to welcome Keith Robinson. He's, as I said, he's flew in from Ireland. I've actually known Keith for a while. Welcome, Keith.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I've known you for quite a few years now, and you've been helping a lot of people, so I thought I'd invite you to share your knowledge and your experience with my audience, and I'm sure they will actually gain a lot of knowledge today and be quite surprised about the information that you will be sharing. You know, you have been in the health and wellness industry, as I said, for quite a few years, and you've actually been also helping some medical professionals as well. But saying that to everybody out there, you are not related to, I mean, you're not a medical professional in any way, and you're not going to give that kind of advice. You just want to share things that you have seen from other people that you've been helping, and also from your own experience. And also, I have gained a lot of knowledge from yourself, and I've actually seen a lot of results for myself and members of my family as well. So, Keith, how did you get into this area? You know, when did you get in and why?
About 11 or 12 years ago, somebody said to me, he said, do you know that it's going to be possible to reverse heart disease shortly?
Wow.
And I said, I need to find out. I need to know.
Yeah.
I like to understand things. I like to look into them. I like to be able to take them apart, put them together, and it needs to make sense to me. So that's what I started to do. In order to be sure, I had my cardiovascular system checked out. Now, at the time, my age was 46, and my cardiovascular age came in as a 40-year-old, so I was 6 years ahead of myself, which was good. 90 days later, with the secret that was shared with me, my vascular age dropped down to 22.
Wow, that's fantastic. Wow, that's amazing.
And a couple of months after that, it dropped down to a teenager. So I knew there was something in this, and decided this is something I need to pursue, keep at.
Now people might be listening and thinking, okay, they might be like 25, 30 or 40 years old and thinking, that's the only age I have. You know, I was born and I'm 40 years old, I'm 25. And now you're talking about cardiovascular age.
Yes.
That I'm sure most people don't think of. You know, in internal organs that have a certain age than you have, in the sense of since you've been born, it can accelerate very, very quickly because of maybe environments, what you're eating, stress. Is that right?
And family history.
Family history.
So there's been many programs on television which talk about what age are you really and all that, but what the area that I was concentrating on was actual cardiovascular age.
Okay.
Which is based on the pressure that is in your heart at the time of pumping, which is called central aortic systolic pressure, and also the flexibility of the arteries. So a lot of people, their cardiovascular system is aging faster than they are. And if you're aging faster, cardiovascular age is aging faster than you are at risk of cardiovascular issues sooner than what you should be.
I think that's something that everyone should know, because we don't really think that way, you know, and more people become aware of our cardiovascular age, then if they got tested or something, and obviously you can find that out through a testing. From what kind of testing would somebody go through that?
There's different devices for doing that. I decided to use a device called a B-Pro, which is a Class 2 medical device, and I got trained to use it. Class 2 medical device means a non-medical person can be trained to operate it. And that tells you information like the central aortic pressure. And one should have a certain central aortic pressure for age average, and the elasticity of the arteries. So a certain age group should have a certain elasticity, and you can also see waveforms of the heart pumping out blood and then a rebound wave bouncing back. So all the information is calculated based on your actual radial pulse. So your own pulse is giving the information, and the software is working it out from there.
Oh, wow. Now, you told me, recently, a few days ago, maybe you've tested a couple of people in their 30s.
Yes.
So what was the results from that?
It was very interesting because, well, we had 2 guys in their 30s, and one of them early 30s, one mid 30s, and both of them came in with a much higher age than their actual birth certificate was saying they were. So one guy in his early 30s, he came in with an actual central aortic pressure higher than 100 years of age.
Wow.
And arterial stiffness a little over 60 years of age. The other guy in his mid 30s, who was fully convinced that he was fit and well and no, there's no problems here, he came in with a central aortic pressure and flexibility of the arteries of somebody over 60 years of age. Bit of a shock for him because he was completely sure that he was perfect.
Well, I think everyone should get themselves tested in that way and find out. It is shocking, because the reason I'm saying is I see, you hear about, I don't hear about so many young people passing on. Suddenly they're fine and fit, and next minute they had a heart attack and a stroke. So obviously there's something much bigger going on internally, because they could be going to a gym and fit, and next minute they're not there anymore. They passed on. And
being very fit does not stop you having a cardiovascular incident. All it takes is a rupture of plaque, which can create a clot. The clot, if it sticks in the brain, you have a stroke. If it sticks in the heart, you have a heart attack. So if there's loose plaque in the arteries, and that ruptures, you're in trouble. It doesn't matter what age you are.
Wow.
And I've done cardiovascular screening on people who are very fit, young, run marathons, and yet their cardiovascular age is way above their age.
Wow.
So they're going to be at the same risk of somebody of the age that their cardiovascular system is performing at.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm sure people are maybe watching thinking, oh my God, I never even thought of that way. And now maybe hopefully they take a bit of notice of the health and take control of that. And as I said earlier, that you are not a medical professional, you're not a doctor or a consultant, but you have been actually advising, in a way, giving a bit of information to consultants to how to take control of their own health, or maybe members of the family. So is that kind of recent? You were talking to somebody recently.
Yes,
consultant,
yes,
right?
I did, yeah. I often get calls. Can I talk to this person? Can I talk to that person? And but I remember one of the earlier incidences of having to sit down with a surgeon one time who had a lot of health challenges himself. He had 2 heart attacks before the age of 40. He was a type 2 diabetic. He had been on medication for 17 years, the usual medications, blood pressure, cholesterol, and so on. And he actually had an ulcer in his leg that wasn't healing. So I was asked to sit down with him, and I did one morning, and I went through all the information that I go through with anybody, and give them what I have been taught. And he looked at me and he said, how come you as a non-medical person is educating me, a surgeon, on my health? I said, well, that's easy. I said, you've been trained and directed in a particular direction. I said, I'm not handcuffed that way. And he said, okay, I follow what you're saying. He says, but I do wish we were taught all this. And he said straight up, tell me what to do.
Wow, that's amazing.
I gave him a program to follow. And within 6 weeks, he was off every medication he had been on for 17 years. And within 3 days, his ulcer in his leg was healing. Wow,
that's a great. The thing is, we could show a lot of pictures here now. It's getting quite graphic, but I think we might put at the end. Let's think about that. So we might put some stuff in. If people want to see some photographs, we're happy to send some, information. Send the photographs to yourselves. But when you mentioned medication, right? Like, so if someone's got a high blood pressure, you go to a doctor, they give you medication to lower it. how does that work? How does it, the medication, take it lowers it? It's only temporary kind of lowering the blood, is it balancing or just kind of pushing the blood pressure down? Is that not really bad for all people that may be giving them other health challenges due to that, taking medication all the time?
My understanding is that if you don't have adequate blood supply going through the whole body and getting to every organ and every gland, the body is clever enough to send a message asking the brain to tell the heart to pump at a higher pressure. So the body is going to be responding all the time to what's going on and adjusting all the time. So if say your liver is not getting adequate blood supply, it will send a definite message, tell the heart to rise in pressure. So the heart is going to oblige and keep going up in pressure. So it will go up to the pressure to the point where the liver is going to say, great, I now have enough blood supply. Work at that pressure. And that's all very fine until maybe perhaps a medical professional says, that blood pressure is a bit high, we better take that down. But fine if you take it down, this is my thoughts, fine if you take it down by fixing the problem that was there in the first place that caused. But if you take it down by telling the heart not to listen to the liver, just cut back down on pressure, I believe you're creating a bigger problem. Because now you're going to have a liver that was getting probably enough blood supply working at this blood pressure, now has been brought back down to this pressure, it will now get less. So you're creating a bigger problem by hiding the symptoms.
Wow, that's the thing, isn't it? We don't realise. We just go to the GP or doctor or something and get medication and everything, and that's it. It's sorted. But then they're on it for years and years and years. But it's not actually getting the root. That's
the reason they're on it for years and years and years, because they're still not addressing the problem that was there in the first place.
That's exactly. I mean, I'm just finding so many people who are in the medication and they go from one thing, next minute they're getting into something else and other issues. It's kind of building up one up top of the other, and they're in this cycle, and they can't get out of it. But there is a solution, there is a solution for that. But we will get into the solution. You have to wait. Now, the thing I want to talk, you talk about nitric oxide, as we are younger, we actually produce more of it. As time goes on, we produce less. And that is very vital for our body. Now, explain more about nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide has been called the miracle molecule. You cannot live without nitric oxide. And some people are fortunate that they make a lot more nitric oxide than others. And the person who is naturally making a lot more nitric oxide will have less or probably no cardiovascular issues, because nitric oxide was found in the 1998 Nobel Prize for Medicine to be a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. So nitric oxide keeps your arteries clean, elastic and free flowing. So if you're not making enough nitric oxide, the cardiovascular system is not capable of repairing itself. If you make plenty of nitric oxide, your cardiovascular system will repair itself.
Wow, that is really that's so important. Then, so you put more nitric oxide into your system and you start repairing.
Well, you have to help your body to manufacture more nitric oxide. This is all something that happens within. So there's an amino acid called arginine, which goes into your bloodstream. And when it goes into your bloodstream, it attaches to the lining of your veins and arteries, and there you make nitric oxide synthase, which turns into nitric oxide gas. That's the process. But if you don't have enough arginine going in, and the food source has been so depleted, you won't make enough nitric oxide, and your cardiovascular system will run into trouble.
Wow, that's the thing. So is there a certain type of arginine you need to take? Is it because people could go out and start buying arginine, saying, but there must be a different quality.
You can access arginine. You can access arginine in health shops. You can access different types, but the problem is not all arginines are equal. So arginine on its own will have a very small impact on your nitric oxide production. So you'll only make nitric oxide for maybe 1 to 3 seconds, and then it's gone. So it doesn't have a huge impact. But you must get a correct ratio of arginine plus another amino acid called citrulline plus other ingredients. And if you get the correct ratio of everything, and you're using pure elemental from a vegetarian source, not synthetic, then it's possible to make nitric oxide for 24, 36 or maybe longer hours instead of 1 to 3 seconds. That's when you have a reversal of a situation.
Wow. So you consume arginine?
I have been for 11 years. I have used a particular arginine supplement that is in the physician's desk reference in the States as being the highest quality one in the world. So the credibility is phenomenal. I like to be able to use something that's the best quality in the world to get the best results.
I know I've known you for years and you advised me. I know personally my mum takes that and she's nearly 90 and I see a huge difference, you know, in her health in the sense of she takes it every day. You know, Aladin, Proarginine, the one you mentioned, you use as well, and high quality, and I think it's amazing. You know, I definitely know it works. Let's talk about one of the things you mentioned. You do a lot of presentations, and you talk to a lot of people, you educate a lot of people, and you were saying about how nowadays, you know, one plate of salad. You know, we think it's eating healthy, you know, lettuce, tomatoes and broccoli and all that. And now I personally think, this is my view, is when you go to Tesco's and nowadays the veg, they've got nothing in it, you know, you could taste it. It doesn't taste, it tastes of nothing, whereas if you go to other parts of the world who are grown, this veg is grown in organic soil, all that, and it tastes totally different, smells different when you cook it. But people are thinking, oh, they're eating healthy, or you know, 5, you know, veg, you know, fruit and veg a day, whatever. You know, now we're supposed to have. So if somebody eating a salad of like 50 years ago, that has more nutrition, vitamins, is it same now?
Far from it. If someone ate a plate of salad 50 years ago, they would have to sit down and consume 47 plates of salad.
47?
The same level of nutrition.
Wow.
So even if you try to do things right, you can never achieve what you should achieve. And this is why supplementation is paramount in today's diet. Because you cannot, the body is designed to repair itself, replace itself, perform, recover based on the nutrition you put into your body. So if the nutrition is not there, there's no wonder people are going down the hill.
That's you know, I think now people watching this thinking, wow, I mean, they may be eating a bowl of salad, they're thinking, oh, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I've got all my nutrition, minerals and vitamins, but I don't think they'll be thinking, it's no way. So this is why it's very important to can add supplements to what you're eating, dairy, and that's very important, and that's something that you take as well.
Absolutely, and the Swiss government did a survey on the drop of vitamins and minerals in fruits and vegetables from just 1985 to 2002. And if you look at the actual statistics of that droppage, it would frighten you, and we've gone another 17 years since that. So I believe some of the food we are taking in, expecting it to nourish us, it's probably costing us more to digest it and eliminate it than what was in the food in the first place. And again, that is what determines our health and our wellness. So again, I supplement with high levels of antioxidants, I supplement with greens, and the body then performs accordingly.
Wow, that's amazing. I know that people might be saying, oh, they want to talk to you, and you just you're leaving tomorrow, so it's quite difficult, but you will be coming back to Scotland, to Glasgow, and we plan to hold some events that, to educate people about the health and well-being, and you will be there, one of the guest speakers. Yeah, that's the plan. And I'm sure that people are watching, they could actually come and actually have a chat with him. So let me know if you want to come along and speak to Keith. I'll actually advise you, I could let you know what dates Keith will be coming and actually giving a talk on health and well-being. That's something that I could share with you. Please message me. But I'd like to thank Keith for coming on today, taking time out. sharing the secret of elite health, and I'm sure people, and it's very brief, I mean, there's just so much that you could talk about. We just don't have the time.
We could do hours
of talk, but we just wanted to give the kind of a brief, very brief overview of, what people, just to start people thinking what you said today. And I said that, you'll be coming back and sharing more information, so that's something that people want to know.
It's a fascinating area, and the stuff that I watched happen for people, we would sort of begin to feel blessed about the fact how many people were actually helping. And I get phone calls all the time. So and so is this challenge. So and so is that challenge. Will you talk to them? And 99 times out of 100, we've already previously dealt with that.
I know that. I mean, as I said, we don't have time. You've got so many testimonials. You've been helping ladies who cannot conceive.
We've seen great results.
Results as well. You've been working with people with diabetes. As I said, we talked about cardiovascular, blood pressure. There's so many,
immune issues.
All that. Also, gut health is one of the things that huge thing that you talk about as well, and how to balance your gut. There's so much that we could talk about. As I said, we don't have time, but the people could actually come along and listen to you, and we're going to be planning to hold events for that here as well.
Start a revolution.
Yes, start a revolution. I think it's so important for people to know this. It's so important to take control of their health. That is so important. So anyway, people, thank you for watching. I hope you have gained some kind of knowledge. If you want to talk to Keith, he will be coming back to Scotland, and there is planned to hold events as well. And please share this show with your family, friends, in your community, and you will see. It's just try to help as many people as you can with just this information. Information is so vital to share with other people, to help them. You could be saving so many people's lives by, people could be watching this and maybe realize something, and they may want to look into something and maybe talk to a GP or a practitioner and get more information. Never know. So please, thank you for watching the show, Aladin Show. I will be back next week. And as I said, thank you for everybody who is inspiring me to do the show every week. And I'm getting fantastic feedback from people who watch the show, and they're saying that they're actually finding really beneficial in their life, just to get some information to change your life in some way. So thank you again, and see you next week. Bye.